Good morning. Today's topic is how do organisms reproduce. What is vegetative propagation? When new plants are grown by using vegetative parts like root, stem, and leaves, it is known as vegetative propagation. So the young ones are produced from the vegetative parts, it is called as vegetative propagation. Right to advantages of vegetative propagation. Plants bear fruits faster as compared to grown by seed. Helpful for the plants that produce dominant seeds are lost the capacity to produce seeds. So here, what are all the advantages of vegetative propagation means plants bear fruits faster. Why? Because if the plant is grown by the seed, it has to first develop its vegetative growth and after that reproductive growth. So it takes time. So here, advantages of vegetative propagation, faster as compared to grown by the seed. The growth is faster. Then third question, what methods will you use for growing jasmine and rose plant? Layering method of artificial vegetative propagation can be used for growing jasmine plant. Then stem cutting method can be used for growing rose plant. So layering as well as stem cutting. Then fourth question, list any two benefits to an organism that reproduce by spores. Name an organism that reproduces by spores. So our first answer for the first question is spores consists of hard coat that helps them to survive in adverse climatic condition. Then name an organism that reproduces by spores. Spores are produced in large numbers, which enhances the survival and continuation of generations further. So example is Rhizopus. Or fifth question, what is the importance of DNA copying in reproduction? DNA copying is important for reproduction. Additional copies of DNA are made during replication, which is necessary for the new cells formed after cell division. Moreover, some minor alternations during DNA replication are responsible for bringing variations in the long run. So importance of DNA copying in reproduction is there is variation. Then sixth question, how does binary fission differ from multiple fission? Binary fission, multiple fission. First one is binary fission. Two daughter cells are formed. Then here multiple daughter cells are formed. Binary fission, bi means two, fission means splitting. So if the mother cell divides into two daughter cells, so two daughter cells are formed. Multiple fission, multi means many. So multiple daughter cells are formed. Then second point, happens during favorable conditions. It is a routine process. Binary fission is a routine process. It happens during favorable conditions. Multiple fission happens during unfavorable conditions. It is utilized to tide over the unfavorable conditions. It is used to skip the unfavorable condition of that particular organism. Then seventh question, how are the modes for reproduction different in unicellular and multicellular organisms? Unicellular organisms always reproduce by asexual methods like binary fission, budding, multiple fission, etc. Multicellular organisms, on the other hand, use both methods of reproduction, while simple organisms usually follow the asexual methods of reproduction. Most of the multicellular organisms follow sexual methods of reproduction. So unicellular organisms follows asexual mode of reproduction, whereas multicellular organisms follow sexual methods of reproduction. Then eighth question, how does reproduction help in providing stability to populations of species? Every species has to constantly struggle for its survival. Natural predator and vagaries of nature keep on removing a large section of the population of a particular species. Moreover, the natural cycle of life and death also removes a section of the population. Reproduction is a way to replenish the lost section of population. Thus, it can be said that reproduction is linked to the stability of population of a species. Then ninth question, why are variations beneficial to the species but not necessary for the individuals? Variation is beneficial to the species as it enables a species for its survival. A favorable variation makes an organism to live better in a changed environment, and an favorable variation will not. So if it is not necessarily true that a variation is beneficial to the individuals. So there are two types of variation. If it is a favorable variation, it gives the organism, the particular organism, a survival adaptability. And if it is an unfavorable variation, it will not give that survival capability to that particular organism. So variation is not necessarily true that a variation is beneficial to the individuals, but to the species. It is not necessarily beneficial to the individuals, but it is beneficial to the species. Thank you.